Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of The Car of Today. And today I have a sad topic for the car community. The Honda Civic is dead to gearheads. Honda has turned a once beloved car within the car community into the stereotype that we all think of when we see a white bitch driving one. Let's get into it. The Honda Civic has long been a favorite among gearheads, those who love to tinker, tune, and push their cars to the limit. From high-revving VTEC engines of the 90s to turbocharged powerhouses of the 10th generation, the Civic has earned its stripes in the enthusiast community. But with the 11th generation, something has changed. Let's start with the design. The 11th Gen Civic has shifted away from the aggressive, sharp lines of its predecessor. Honda has gone for a more mature and refined look, which, while attractive, feels less sporty and more 5 under the speed limit. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it signals a shift in the Civic's identity, from a youthful, edgy compact to something that appeals to a broader, more mainstream audience. For gearheads, this new design is quite the turnoff in comparison. The Civic now looks less like a car ready to be modified for track days, and more like a comfortable daily driver. Under the hood, the 11th Gen Civic retains the familiar 1.5-liter turbocharged engine, and the 2-liter naturally aspirated engine. While these engines are efficient and reliable, they haven't changed much since the 10th generation. Honda has made incremental improvements, but there's no new powertrain that gets the heart racing. For gearheads looking for a platform with untapped potential, this feels underwhelming. And speaking of potential, the aftermarket support for the 11th Gen is still catching up. Unlike the 10th Gen, which saw a flood of aftermarket parts soon after its release, the 11th Gen is slower to attract that level of attention. For those who love to modify and tune their cars, this lack of options is very disappointing. When it comes to driving experience, the 11th Gen is refined, comfortable, and composed. But here's the thing, those aren't the qualities that us gearheads crave. The 11th Gen Civic feels more like a polished commuter than a car that begs to be driven hard. The suspension is tuned for comfort over sharpness, and the steering, while accurate, lacks feedback that makes spirited driving truly engaging. The focus on efficiency and everyday usability is clear. Even in the sportiest trims, the 11th Gen prioritizes balance and practicality over raw driving thrills. Now you might be thinking, what about the Civic Si and the upcoming Type R? Surely these models will cater to gearheads, right? Well, yes and no. The Si and the Type R are still the most performance-oriented Civics you can buy, and they do deliver a more engaging driving experience. But even here, Honda has made these cars more approachable and less raw than previous generations. The 11th Gen Type R, while still an incredible machine, is more refined and less aggressive than its predecessors. It's faster, yes, but it's also more mature with a focus on everyday usability rather than sheer driving excitement. How lovely. Just what we wanted. It's not like the Civic has been a staple tuner car since the early 90s. So, is the 11th Gen Honda Civic a bad car? No, it's arguably the best Civic ever made when it comes to being an all-around daily driver. But for gearheads, the ones who love to feel every bump in the road, who live for that perfect exhaust note, and who can't wait to tear into a new project, the 11th Gen Civic is a complete disappointment, ending 30 years of car modding. Honda has made a Civic that appeals to more people than ever before, but in doing so they created a car that enthusiasts will only gag at. If you're looking for a Civic to modify, to push to its limits, and to truly make it your own, the 10th Gen or even older models are the way to go. At least for a while, the Civic won't be with us anymore.